wasn't even worth my time. Trying to act like I wasn't good enough in your eyes. Funny now that you calling, that you ringing my line. Why the hell is you ringing my line? Oh, why? And if I had you, all I wanna do is fuck, get drunk, take drugs. Fuck love, all I wanna do is fuck, get drunk, hop on planes. And there'll be no more loving you. What up, y'all? It's your girl KZ, aka Mommy Wata, the mystical musical messenger over here at the Lighthouse.astrotarot. And today we're going to be discussing the difference between soulmates, twin flames, and divine sacred partnerships. So if at any point you decide to dig what I do, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok and YouTube, and you can also find me on Facebook, boom. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, the reason why I want to take a moment to define a little bit the difference between soulmates, twin flames, and sacred partnerships is because there is a lot of misconceptions behind these things and what they actually mean and how the roles that they play in your life. And it is also a growing issue in the spiritual community where you see people such as readers and other energy workers who use things as twin flames and soulmates and divine partnerships, to kind of push an agenda of, kind of supporting themselves without giving you the correct information. And sometimes this isn't purposeful. Sometimes this is because they don't know the information, the correct details to this information themselves. And other instances, it is to keep you in this never-ending cycle, which plays out in you staying in karmic cycles and, kind of having some delusions and some false hopes and dreams for some certain interactions that you may not supposed to have, those type of hopes and dreams for. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm going to try to break this down, kind of like in levels, because it is levels to this shit, you feel me? So when it comes to soulmates, a soulmate is anybody that you have any type of interaction with throughout your life. This can be a teacher, a preacher, somebody you met in the store. This can be somebody who helped you out on the side of the road. This can be your kids. This can be a relationship. This can be somebody that you just, text for a hot second and you never heard from them again. This could be someone who, just like, oh, girl, you look good at the store. You never see them again. Or this could be lifelong interactions. Soulmates plays out with anybody who y'all energy trade forces with, because it is something about that experience that is going to carry you to another step in your journey, or it was to teach you something or to teach the other person something. That's what all interactions are about. That's just period in general. So anybody that you have any type of interaction with, like, I don't care if the person in front of you at the store said, hey, have a good day. That is a soulmate interaction. That was an encounter that was meant to happen. Now, let's go up a level. Twin flames. Twin flames is one of those things where people a lot of times will get caught up in saying, you feel like you have a special bond with someone, or you feel like you can't get out of a certain relationship with a certain person, whether this be for material stuff or because you are so emotionally invested in them. Now, whenever it comes to twin flame interactions, a twin flame interaction is not something that is sweet. It's like having a microwave dinner. Whenever it's good, it's good. When shit is good, it's good. Whenever it ain't, it's horrible. It's bad. You don't want it no more. You ready to throw that shit away. It's like warmed over noodles. But yes, that is what a twin flame relationship is like. You have your mouth ready for it, and then when you get it, you might be like, I want this. That's kind of how I like to describe twin flames. And I say this about twin flames relationships because, a lot of times people will be, oh, I found my twin flame, or I want my twin flame. No, you only request your twin flame whenever you are looking to make some significant spiritual growth and really get ready to cleanse your life out and start going down your spiritual path to personal development. That is whenever you ask for a twin flame. A twin flame interaction with someone is like, say you meet a person and y'all really jihad and mesh really well together on that first instance. And that lasts for every bit of 2 to 8 weeks. After that, everything is like this toxic back and forth play. Y'all playing on each other's emotions, but you still, it's like a love-hate relationship. It grows from a love to hate to a love to intimidation to being like almost in an obsession type thing. And what twin flame relationships do is they are essentially the mirrors. Any interaction that you have is a mirror, is a reflection of, just having a human soul, just having a soul within your body, right? But when it comes to twin flame interactions, these point out things in one another. Like, say, when you look at the mirror, you're your own worst critic, right? You see all the stuff about yourself, even down to your behavior, how you smell, what you look like, how you act, the stuff you say, the way you talk. You criticize those things much more heavily than anyone else does. But these are things that you may have toned down and got comfortable with about yourself, and maybe got on the lines of accepting. Whenever you come into a twin flame interaction with somebody, they reflect these things to you. And what they reflect is essentially the ugly shit up in you that you don't like, and the stuff that you would dream and wish to be, or the stuff that you really love about yourself. Say that the person that you meet, say you're more like an introvert, and you meet someone that is more extroverted. You haven't found or did enough work or personally developed yourself, or just reached that point in life where you're more ready to outwardly express yourself. You might meet someone who has that level of confidence about them to be more extroverted. Not saying that you don't have confidence being introverted, but that's just to say if there's something that you want to do. Or say you meet this extroverted person, right, and you appreciate that about them. Whereas that extroverted person might meet you and appreciate everything about the fact that you're introverted. And because you can really find ways to connect with yourself and be satisfied with that. That's kind of how those two things play out in the opposition against one another. It's either a love it or hate it type thing. And sometimes whenever someone sees you standing in your own authenticity in certain areas of your life, it picks at them a little bit for that one reason. And then there's a level of intimidation there because they begin to see things about you that you are not. And not even that you're doing it purposely. It could be something that you say. It can be a mentality. It can be your moral system that you operate off of. How you interact with these people, they might feel some kind of way about it. And that's just you being you. You do have people who will maliciously do things to try to get reactions out of you. They might try to holler at your homegirl. They might try to pop a hole in your tie. They might talk shit about you behind your back. They might do things like that, but that is because, they haven't worked on how to work with those things and deal with them in a healthier fashion. And you kind of start reflecting those things on one another. And it's like you are so drawn to one another because you love so much and you're so intense into these things about the other person. And then at the same time, you reflect, you deflect, you push back from one another, and you bring the best and the worst out. That's a good way to put it. And twin flame interactions, like I said, they are not these usual interactions, where people just doing toxic shit to one another. No, these are the ones that make your knees buckle. These are the type of relationships where they break you down emotionally, or they take you through some type of traumatic experience, whether it be emotional or physical. You lose everything, or it be more emotional to where you maybe have some type of mental breakdown or something like that. And these are the points and times where this is where you're going to go through a lot of spiritual development, and you're going to have to learn how to really stand in your own sovereignty and learn how to work with yourself and learn yourself to know yourself, because we get so lost in being told and taught how to base our lifestyles off of the images that other people present to us, instead of really learning who we actually are and what we actually want and what is going to be beneficial to us when it comes to relationships. And like I said, twin flame relationships are pretty much a vessel to get you in position to connect more with your divine self. It's to make you stop being so reliant on matrix illusions and being this pretender thing and being contrarian. Now that's pretty much it with the twin flame relationships. Like, you can also call twin flames, like I like to call twin flames earth angels, because as you grow as a in your spirit, as you grow and connect more with God, you feel me, you're gonna go through that moment of crucifixion in your life. You're gonna go through rejection and abandonment. You're gonna go through times where you feel like nobody resonates with you at all, and that is so you can connect with a higher power and connect with your higher sense of self. Yes, it is painful and it is uncomfortable to go through that, but as you start going down that path, you'll see where it is actually cultivating you and growing as a person. Now, eventually, once you do the work, the shadow work required to work through these twin flame relationships and interactions, that make you maybe show out and act ass, put all your business on Facebook. What else? Like just do a bunch of low down trifling ass shit, and it's all down to toxicity. It's where that deep, that deep natural ancestral primordial wound that we have in us as human beings of narcissism, that root of worthlessness and things like that. That is where that comes from, and that is why that has to play out. We have a tendency to get so invested in relationships with people because of time, children, what we've gained out of it, or what we lost, or the potentials of the situation, or what we hope they are going to be. But those, when you let that go, that is whenever you are able to see the growth happen. As long as you hold on to them, it keeps you in a karmic cycle, and it keeps playing out in your life in these negative ways. And until you handle these issues that your twin flame will bring out in you, these are going to be things that consistently come up. It's stuff that you can't run from. It's not even down to karma, it's down to you just self-realization, matter of fact. And another thing about twin flames, a lot of people will say, these are bonds that you keep with someone. And to a certain extent, they are. Because on your twin flame journey towards the ending of it, you should be able to realize, that this interaction that you had out, even though it was painful and it was disappointing, that it also helped bring you out. It helped grow you up. It helped you to mature and become a better person. Now, another thing about twin flames also is that you will see a twin flame in more than one person. You're going to find twin flames interactions. That is like another polarity of your soul. Some people like to say you only have one twin flame. No, you have multiple twin flames as well. This is a person who matches your spirit. This is someone who reflects that duality, that polarity part of your soul. They either bring out the divine masculine or the divine feminine. They either bring out the lighter aspects or the darker aspects. They bring out your more angelic side or your more demonic side. Either way, it's going to be flashes of both, to where you both can see where these things are at, so you can kind of balance them out and cultivate them a little bit better. Now, whenever it comes to sacred partnerships, as you merge out of that twin flame thing, right, you get to a place where you're finally able to be good with it. You're okay with it. Like you matter of fact, you will get to a point where you're actually happy that things played out the way that they did. I have been married before, you feel me? And I've had relationships with people that I was very like, I love them. I love them to death, and I still love them now, but it's a different type of love. And I can really say that it's more of an unconditional love, because it gets you in a place to where you're able to accept the choices that other people made, and you're able to accept the choices that you made, and you're also in a position now to appreciate what that situation and what that relationship brought out of you, how it built you up, how it made you just really reach this new level of your higher self and be a more beautiful, more real, well-rounded person. Yes, karma is real. It plays out in cycles. But you need to know also that the same way that you went through hell and high water to get to the top of your mountain and to your higher place, right? You and the person that you had this interaction with may play these things out at two different points in time. Now, if they spirit, if they soul don't, if they ain't got it in their mindset, that they want to actually grow and build like that, then that's not going to happen. For everything is free will. They have a choice to make. But for the ones who do, you're able to then look at each other again and really value that from one another. And that's not to say that you're going to resolve and come back into a relationship, because 9 times out of 10 with those interactions, you've learned so much about a person and gotten enough out of it to where you could probably see that person as a best friend, or you could see that person as, just respect them for whatever position they're going to play in their life and not be ate up about it. You really appreciate them and you're happy for them no matter what they choose, just as long as they got what they needed from out of that interaction. All right, now once you come up out of that twin flame shit and you've let that go, and you've kind of moved on with your life, you'll probably find yourself in a position where you are more you're single. And sometimes a lot of us have a fear of being single, or a fear of being rejected, or not having these close intimate relationships around us. Hell, some people just be afraid of not having damn options, when the first option should always be you. You should be the first option. You should be the one saying what you will and won't go for. There are 8 billion people on the planet. Damn it, it is somebody out there that is going to suit your needs and help suit the needs of you as the person that you have personally grown to develop to be. So, an overall twin flame relationships are to trigger personal development within your life and get you in a higher position and get you closer to God and really get you ready for a divine partnership. Now, a divine partnerships transcend time, space, location, this earth realm, all that. Twin flame relationships can work on a higher dimension. Twin flame relationships can be, once you get to that point where you really understand and know what unconditional love is, you're able to see the divine in other people and other things, other situations. I don't care how ugly it is, how fucked up the person is, nothing. You're able to see the good qualities, but you also have that discernment within you to be able to decipher what is and ain't for you, and what you can and can't deal with, and what that situation overall was for you. It's like you've leveled up, and just your knowing and how God is speaking to you and what your journey is about. Now, whenever it comes to divine partnerships, this can be people that you see online that resonates with the same life path that you have, that have the same goals as you, that live the same lifestyle, or the one that you aspire to have. And you can look at them as more of like a motivation or a fuel or something saying to you, like, do it. It's like a voice within you that speaks to your spirit, and it's in support of what you are in support of. This can be, like I said, it works on all dimensions. This can be in the 3D and physical interactions. This could just be with you seeing me on this video right now, speaking to you, right? You might see me like, you know what? I feel what she's saying. I resonate with it. And if you do that, is you having something called a harmonic resonance with someone. And that is a symbol of what a divine partnership feels like. Now, when you get into interacting in divine partnerships, as I said, they work on different realms. You can have being a divine partnership interaction on the spiritual realm and it not be down here physically in the 3D. And usually you'll see that it's playing out with people who tend to stay more single, and they tend to have this way of life that isn't, they're not looking for that outward thing. If it comes, good, but if not, okay. And it's because their work is more based on the spiritual realm, even though they are down here in this physical body and they have a role that they have to play out here right now. One may be some more significant at the other, but they are playing out simultaneously. Now, next, if you have something that happens like a divine partnership in the 3D, that is what people will call more of like a legit twin flame union down here on earth, right? This ain't in the spirit realm, this ain't in the astral. We talking about down here on earth, this right here, this flesh. Now, whenever you see a twin flame union or a divine partnership playing out down here, the significance of that role is because you and that person were meant to unite and play out something significant to uplift and evolve humanity and the community. I don't care if that's y'all getting a business together. I don't care if that's y'all maybe having an interaction online with one another, or that's maybe something like you guys getting married and starting a business or giving birth to children or taking care of some like your family or something like that. It was meant for y'all to come together because that interaction was significant down here. And what the way you'll see that play out is, even though you guys may not have the same purpose tit for tat, you might have someone who's a musician and the other person who's an artist. You might have someone who's a mechanic and the other one who does more construction work or something like that. However this thing plays out, the two roles mesh together well enough to where you are fueling each other's fire and you are supporting one another and getting a very specific job done. And usually whenever you reach the point where you are ready to have a divine partnership in the 3D, whenever you are ready to have that experience, you have reached that point of your soul's reincarnation into the physical 3D body. Unless you decide, you and the good Lord decide, at some point in time that you choose to come back for some significant reason or another. But usually whenever you reach that point down here and you have that, that means that you have spent multiple life cycles and growing yourself and cultivating yourself. And what you're doing right now in the physical is very important to where the way things are going to progress and what you are going to leave behind as far as your legacy goes. You have reached a point of a completion of your soul's evolution. You've ever heard of anything called an ascended master? That's what you would call an ascended master. Jesus is an ascended master. If you're going to look at, if you want to need an example, Buddha would be an ascended master. Malcolm X would be an ascended master. You can look at Biggie as an ascended master. You can even look at, I'm getting chills down. You can even look at Tupac as an ascended master. And I say this because these people left behind, even if they didn't have such a mark while they was here. But after they left here and they passed away and their spirit and their soul left that body, right? After you left that body, you left a significant mark in order to change things now. That was the role that they played back then. You hear a lot of philosophical things coming out from these people that I just mentioned, or more about their teachings, or realize more of what they're saying now as versus to when they said it way back then, even to the ways that they passed away. Hell, you could even look at the significance of Rick James's life. You could look at the significance of how, people in our older community who pass away really quickly, like Prince. Prince passed away really quickly. Michael Jackson passed away very quickly. And it was kind of like in a rash. And it was because what their work was done here. Y'all hear them birds in the background? That's because their work was done here. And, Michael Jackson's divine partnership could have been whenever he had his children. His divine partnership could have had everything to do